Jay, thank everybody for being here. It's just a great day. And today we're sharing our draft of the East Bank Vision Plan. You'll hear a lot more from Lucy in a moment. I want to thank council members for being here. Bob Mendez, who's the chair of the East Bank Committee. Brett Withers, we're right on the edge of his district here also, but he's the chair of the Council Planning Committee, which is very important. Council Lady at Large, Sharon Hurt, is here, and then Sean Parker. If we're not in Brett's district, we're in Sean's district. I'm not quite sure where the line goes. It's great to have them here. As you may remember, this process began in February of 2021, and over the course of the past 18 months, together with our partners, there have been robust community engagement meetings to help envision a future for a vibrant, thriving neighborhood where hundreds of acres of asphalt sit today. And now there's some important people here that have helped us get this far, and I want to take a moment to thank them for their contributions. It's a big project for Metro, but you got coordinated professional departments working together to create a great plan. So that's Lucy after having spent 18 months hearing from the public. Now, Lucy Kempf, who you'll hear from in a moment, is the executive director of Metro Planning. And Lucy has assembled an incredible team, and her leadership over the last 3 years has been important to the growth and to our future as a city. Anna Greider, project manager for the East Bank study. Anna has led the planning department's work over these last 18 months. She's led the robust planning engagement, stakeholder meetings, and overview of this vision document that's being presented today. Angie Hubbard, our housing director. You know, it's great to have a housing director in Metro Nashville, much needed. And as director of our new housing division, Angie has taken on the important role of finding housing solutions for our city. As you'll see in the document, she's written housing guidelines for the development of the East Bank and recommendations that will hopefully ensure we have an affordable housing answers on Metro-owned property. And then I'm not sure is here quite yet, Bob Murphy is the Director of Development of Special Projects. Bob Murphy, who is the most experienced traffic planner in the Middle Tennessee region. He brings with him decades of experience around transportation planning, especially related to cycling infrastructure. And we're fortunate to have Bob on our team. He is the man who's actually done a huge number of traffic studies in all of the neighborhoods of Nashville, and particularly in the neighborhoods that will be affected by this plan. Diana Alicorn, director of NDOT, and Diana and her team at NDOT have been a vital part to the planning of our new street network and what that means for connectivity. Her experience is essential for this project. She has city experience in building big projects. And then Steve Bland, executive director of WeGo, who with the East Bank Boulevard, with this plan, can create Nashville's first ever dedicated BRT lanes. And Steve and his team have been critical to understanding the feasibility of the BRT on this new boulevard, but more importantly, what adding transit infrastructure means to providing access and service to riders throughout our county. So this plan is going to create a huge opportunity for MTA to create transit capacity. Now, not standing here, but critical to this process are the thousands of people who've engaged Metro's teams and contributed their input to this process over the past 2 years. This was the highest level of community engagement since the countywide multi-year Nashville Next process. So that's quite a statement. The most community engagement since Nashville Next. Now, so why is today so exciting and so important? So for the first time in the modern history of Nashville, we have an opportunity to comprehensively plan a core part of our city from the ground up. The East Bank's parking lots and industrial landscape occupy 338 acres between East Nashville's single-family neighborhoods and downtown's ever-rising skyline. Now, with large-scale development already in process at the River North and Oracle campuses, we need to design the necessary infrastructure system for the entire East Bank and not just the land owned by taxpayers. It is our responsibility to transform one of the last remaining uninhabited and underutilized areas, downtown, to serve Nashville as a whole and to deliver benefits to neighborhoods across Davidson County. Now, great neighborhoods, what do they have? They have sidewalks, green space, stormwater management, multimodal transportation options, and affordable housing. Now, in Nashville, generations of growth without proper planning have left us sometimes decades behind in bringing those features to all of our neighborhoods. And the question we face isn't whether or not to develop the East Bank. That is going to happen with or without this process. The question we face is, do we want the future of the East Bank to be decided only by private investors and developers? Or do we want to choose a different path, a community-led path? Now, we love and are proud of the districts around Nashville that attract visitors and drive our hospitality industry, but we have heard from residents that they want the East Bank to be different and something that works for all of us. So we're choosing a different path. This is one of the largest ever community-driven planning processes to include the voices and visions of residents. This deliberate planning process will protect Nashville from haphazard, piecemeal development that sets the stage for an East Bank instead that provides transportation solutions, affordable housing, parks, and civic space, while still absorbing a significant share of the growth that is coming to Nashville. Now, this first of its kind visioning process in Nashville includes a plan that connects neighborhoods and acts as a platform for the next generation's transportation plan. For frequent, fast, affordable bus service with dedicated lanes to connect neighbors to jobs. Now, from Donaldson to Jefferson Street and Madison to Murfreesboro Pike, the East Bank will help Nashvillians move through our city faster without relying on interstates for intercity trips. That is a hugely important thing. And yes, that will mean less traffic and congestion. And we believe that this new traffic and transportation plan and transit plan will reduce the vehicle trips on I-40 and I-24 by over 36,000, which is a 50% decrease. That is a huge opportunity for Nashville. The East Bank will also set a standard for greenways and bikeways integrated into the development, connecting Shelby Park to Germantown and opening new paths for commuters on both sides of the Cumberland River. And for the first time, the river will be appropriately activated as a connector and as a recreational feature. Now, parking lots will be replaced with mixed income housing, parks, restaurants, stores, offices, civic space, and more. But this plan is not just for those who will live and work in the reimagined East Bank. The planning process envisions an East Bank with amenities and connectivity that will benefit neighborhoods across our city. Now, we're excited to move to the next phase of the process and embark on a series of neighborhood and community events to get additional feedback on the proposed priorities in the planning document that is being released today. And we want your feedback, Nashville. For example, when we talk about activating the waterfront and the potential for parks and greenways and restaurants and marinas and more along the Cumberland, tell us what you think. And we talk about the signature park that could serve as a centerpiece to this new neighborhood. How should we activate that new green space? And when we talk about the network of bike lanes on our new streets, we want to know if that meets the needs of our whole community. Now, over the next months, we will, of course, talk about the Titans Stadium, but the Titans are just one component of this much larger vision. You can see that in the draft plan being released today, and that includes two scenarios, one where the stadium stays in its current location and one where the stadium moves slightly to the east. Now, we want the Titans to call the East Bank home for many decades to come. But the broader vision shown today, the goal of the East Bank being more than parking lots and industrial land, that vision began 2 decades ago with the Plan of Nashville document under Mayor Purcell. 2 decades ago, the community reached out to try to have a different vision for this part of the city. And I want to thank our Metro Planning Department for undertaking this project, and to every Nashvilleian who participated and helped us get to this point. please, I'm asking you to stay engaged. And now I'll turn this over to Lucy Kempf to add more about this process and just what comes next. And then we'll have time for a few questions. Thank you very much for being here.
Well, thank you so much, Mayor Cooper, and to Mayor Cooper's team. As we're all standing here on this asphalt parking lot, I hope we can all imagine a different future for this area. I also want to thank the other departments that are here. We're grateful for your support with this transformational project. Vaughn Davies and Eric Fang with Perkins Eastman have given us their great technical expertise in waterfront planning, and we're grateful for their work, as well as our team of local subcontractors, including HDLA, HRNA, Kimley Horn, Pillars, Verallo, Sherwood, and WSP, as well as the neighborhood and technical advisory teams who spent so much time with us giving their good guidance. Last but certainly not least, I do want to thank our staff at Metro Planning who have worked tirelessly for the last year and a half to ensure that the vision before us today reflects our whole vision and desires for the future of Nashville. A huge thank you again to Anna Greider, as well as Harriet Brooks, Jared Islas, Hazel Ventura, Olivia Rancine, as well as Rochelle Albright. I am incredibly proud of the work that you've done to produce such a detail-oriented and community-led plan that will shape this portion of our city and beyond, and has a much wider reach, and I hope that you're proud of this work as well. For the last 18 months, Metro Planning has conducted robust public engagement that we've not seen since Nashville Next, and this level of and commitment to engagement is vital when undertaking the largest planning area study the department and perhaps the city has prepared. In that time, we've conducted more than 20 public meetings with 800 attendees, 150 technical meetings, and multiple surveys with 1,500 responses. And so we've really endeavored to reach as many Nashvillians as possible. What we're releasing today is another milestone in our planning work that I believe will result in a more effective way to strategically manage growth, and more importantly, in the transformation of 338 plus acres of underutilized land in the vibrant and thriving neighborhoods for Nashvillians. This is a draft vision that takes the ideas we heard from the community and outlines 4 key principles. The first is for an equitable and affordable East Bank, which means advancing equity, resiliency, and high quality of life for all Nashvillians through the creation of accessible places to live and work and have our lives here. Safe and simple multimodal connections. We want to provide a robust multimodal transportation system enabling easy and equitable access to and through the East Bank outside of cars. The third is respect for the river. The Cumberland River is an underutilized resource that runs through our city, and we want to recenter the river as a vital community amenity and bolster resiliency through enhanced floodplain and stormwater management practices. Last but not least, and perhaps the most important, is neighborhoods for Nashvillians. We want to create vibrant, livable places that prioritize the everyday needs of our community. Over the next 4 weeks, we want to hear from the public on if this vision we've drafted reflects the priorities that they have shared with us. We've created several ways to do this at both in-person and virtual public meetings, in virtual drop-off hours and in-person drop-off hours. And so we'll take the feedback via emails, over the phone, or in any method or mode that the public wants to share their views with us about this vision so that we can continue to evolve the plan in accordance with the views of Nashvillians. On September 8th, we'll share an informational presentation to the Metro Planning Commission. Once the community feedback wraps up in mid-September, we'll refine this vision and bring forward a supplemental policy for the Commission's review later in the fall. As the mayor said, this is Nashville's opportunity to have a say in what we want our next great neighborhoods to look like in this area, rather than retrofitting these with community assets after private development has already occurred. I'm looking forward to talking with you all as we shape the vision for the East Bank and build this neighborhood together. Thank you. And with that, I'll hand it over to the mayor's office to take us the next steps.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.